Greetings, YouTube! So, Phil Robertson of Duck Dynasty has once again made headlines with a controversial speech against atheists and how he believes we don't have morality, or at the very least, we are following God's morality and denying it. And I say controversial because this really shouldn't surprise anyone. I mean, look at the fucking guy. He's a southern redneck. Do you really expect him to be well educated on these subject matters? Do you even expect him to be exposed to atheists in the South? I digress. So, let's see what he had to say. I'll make a bet with you. Two guys break into an atheist's home. He has a little atheist wife and two little atheist daughters. Two guys break into his home and tie him up in a chair and gag him. And then they take his two daughters in front of him and rape both of them and then shoot them. And they take his wife and then decapitate her head off in front of him. And then they can look at him and say, "Isn't it great that I don't have to worry about being judged? Isn't it great that there's nothing wrong with this? There's no right or wrong, now is it, dude?" Then well, I think he means to say them, then they take a sharp knife and take his manhood and hold it in front of him and say, "Wouldn't it be something if there was something wrong with this? But you're the one who says there is no God, no right or wrong, so we're just having fun. We're sick in the head. Have a nice day." If it happened to them, they would probably say, "Something about this just ain't right." It's like, where do I even begin with this? On one hand, I'm pretty sure even most Christians understand that atheists have morality, and just because you're Christian doesn't mean you're more moral or less moral than anyone else, and vice versa. But I presume that there are a lot of people, especially who are like fundamentalists, who will nod their head along with Phil Robertson and go, "Oh yeah, atheists have no morals because they don't believe in God, oh yeah." So I suppose this video response is to those particular people, the very small minority of hyper-religious people who seem not to understand why atheists don't need God to be good. I've always found it strange why religious people seem to think that they can stick a flag in words like morality, as if it belonged to them and their religion and their God. And they don't even consider that there are people who live perfectly normally without their religion. And it's not like every other society except Christian ones are burning to the fucking ground, now is it? It may not be morality that we approve of in North America, but all the same, there are societies that are predominantly not Christian that haven't burnt to the fucking ground yet. I also find it strange that they don't seem to account for the fact that there are civilizations that predate the existence of their religions, that have moral codes, that are very similar to the morals and ethics taught in their holy books. Like, for example, the Code of Hammurabi has a lot of similarities with what you might see in the Bible. And for the sake of argument, let's just say that without this higher being, this God that they believe in, that we wouldn't have a moral code, regardless of whether or not we believe in said God. Okay. So, here's my question then. If our morality was a reflection of God's own morality, and God gave it to us, first of all, why is it so imperfect if this God is perfect by definition? Second of all, if there is a reason for our morality being imperfect as compared to this perfect divine creator, then can you really say that morality has any meaning whatsoever? If it is given to us by a creator, that pretty much takes out free will. That takes out personal choice, rational cognition. That only leaves doing what you are told because you are told to do so. And if that's your definition of what's right or wrong, then man, I feel sorry for you. Essentially, defining good and evil in terms of what a god would do or what a god tells you to do takes all of the relevance, all of the meaning out of the words themselves. What we consider good or evil is essentially meaningless unless it's what God tells us we should or should not do. And if you read the Bible, that can be anything from, I don't know, helping out the poor to stoning people to death. I don't need the promise of heaven or hell in order to guide me on the right moral path. I don't need some eternal oversight to tell me that rape and murder are wrong. I know they're wrong. And the reason I know they're wrong is because I have a sense of empathy, just like everybody else. When it comes down to it, very little of what's in the Bible is unique to the Bible. And what is unique to the Bible tends to be things that aren't really relevant in the modern era. And for those of the things that are relevant, even today, these are things that are common amongst all religions and all civilizations and all people. There's no such thing as religious morality or atheistic morality. It is human morality, universal among pretty much everyone. Thanks for watching. May the truth always be heard. Peace.